While teaching phonics to kids, you are introduced to terms that you haven't heard before. As a parent who is trying to support their child at home, this is just so confusing. Phonograms, digraphs, graphemes, phenemes, morphemes, blends. Oof, that's also confusing, isn't it? Don't worry, this video is going to end all your confusions. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be discussing one of these confusing terms, and that is digraphs. We will understand what digraphs are, the examples of common digraphs in English language, and most importantly, how to teach these digraphs to young children. Once you finish this video, you will never have any confusion whatsoever while teaching digraphs to your young children. So, let's go. So firstly, let's start from the basics. Let's start to understand the literal meaning of digraph. So digraph word is basically made up of two parts, di and graph. Di means literal means two, and graph is the written form of letters or simply letters. So digraph means when two letters are written but they represent just one sound. Two letters representing one sound, and that is what digraph is. So that means whenever you see two letters in a word representing just single unit of sound instead of their individual two distinct sounds, that is called digraph. Let's understand this with various types of examples of digraph. So there are many different digraphs in English language. A digraph can be made up of two consonants or two vowels, making just single unit of sound. So the digraphs made up of two consonants are simply called digraphs, while digraphs made up of two vowels representing single unit of sound is called diphthongs. That we will be discussing in another video. In this video, we will be discussing the examples of consonant digraphs. So let's start. The first digraph example that we will be discussing is this one. Till now, we know that these two consonants independently make two different independent sounds. Letter S makes sound S, while letter H makes the sound. It's an unvoiced sound. But together, when they are present in the word as a single unit, SH, making a single sound, they are called a digraph. And the sound that they make is called sh. Let's see certain examples of this digraph. So S and H comes together, make a digraph, and the sound that they make is sh. For example, in the words shoe, fish, ship, shin, dish, crash, and many more. So in Jolly Phonics, we denote one unit of sound with one dot placed under it. For example, if I have to write a word fin, so there will be three dots under each letter because they all are denoting single unit of sounds. There are three unit of sounds, so there will be three dots under each letter. But if I have to write the word fish, how many dots we are going to place? 3, because though there are 4 letters in this word, the unit of sounds that are represented by the last two letters, that is S and H, is just 1. So there's f, I, sh, I, sh. There are 3 unit of sounds, so there will be 3 dots placed under these words. So this is one method that will help the child understand when they have to read these two letters as a single unit of sound. It will help them identify digraphs in a word, and it is very helpful while in the teaching them about digraphs in the initial stages of teaching phonics. Now the next example of digraph we are going to understand is this one. In this digraph, when two letters C and H comes together in a word, they represent single unit of sound, and the sound that they make is ch, 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 as in the words chair, cheese, chain, church, chick, chips, chop. We know that independently they both have their individual sounds, but whenever in a word they come together, they represent a single unit of sounds. They are denoted with one dot placed under them, and that is why they are defined as a digraph. Moving on, the next digraph example is this one. So in this digraph, two letters W and H, when comes together in a word, they represent single unit of sounds, and the sound that they make is W, W, as in the words whisk, wail, wheel, what, when. Similarly, the next digraph that we are going to understand is this one. And in this digraph, letter P and letter H, when comes together in a word, they represent single unit of sound, and the sound is f, as in the words phone, graph, photo, phonics. Now, another digraph example which is commonly seen in a lot of words is this one. Here, both the letters C and K, though they independently also make a similar sound, together they again make a sound k, k, and mostly they come at the end of a word. For example, kick, duck, pick, stick, sock, sack. Now, the last digraph example that we are going to understand is a little tricky one, so I want you to pay an extra attention to this one. So, the next digraph is this one. Now, T and H, these two letters, when come together in a word, they make two different kind of sounds. Yes, you heard it right. Together they make single sound, single unit of sound, but in some words, they make one type of sound. In some other words, they make a different type of sound. And we are going to understand both of them. So the digraph in which letter T and H comes together, they make two different sounds depending on the words it's used in. Now, this sound can be taken as an entire topic of discussion, but I'll try to make it quick. The two sounds that they make is, first is categorized as unvoiced one. Here, T and S together make a sound like th, 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 as in the words think, thump, thank, through, thought. The another category of sounds that these two letters together make as a digraph is called voiced or hard sound, as in the words this, that, though, the. So here, the voiced sound is the, while the unvoiced is th, th, th. I know it is slightly tricky to understand both these sounds, and even more tricky when you have to teach both these sounds to your young children. So there are two ways you can deal with this sound is, firstly, if you feel like your child may get confused if you teach both these sounds differently, so you can do one thing, you can teach them the unvoiced sound as the sound of this particular digraph. So you can tell them the T and H together make a digraph, and the sound that they make is th. While the words that has the hard sound or the voice sound of TH digraph, you can keep those words to be taught in as the sight words. I know it sounds a little confusing, but trust me, with practice, it will become easier. Also, you can ask your child when they are reading and they come across the TH digraph, they can start by reading it as the unvoiced sound, the sound. If it doesn't feel right or feels a little difficult, they can then try the hard or the voiced sound of TH. Now that we have covered some common examples of digraphs, let's understand how we can teach digraphs to young children. Now, one great way to teach digraphs to young children is through visual aids. For example, you can create flashcards containing pictures of those words that contain digraphs. So the child will be able to associate the sound of the digraph with the visual representation of those words. Another fun way to teach digraphs to young children is through songs and games. So in Jolly Phonics, we generally use songs to help children memorize the sound of the particular letter. So here, for digraph also, we can do the same things. Jolly Phonics does have specific sounds and songs that the children learn and sing that helps them learn the sounds of those particular digraphs as well. So you can also use those sounds and those songs or create activities around those letter sounds to help them memorize those sounds. Another very important tool is by providing children an opportunity to practice digraphs. And this can be done by providing them a lot of opportunity to read and write those words that have digraphs in them. So you can either create sentences that have words with digraphs in it, or you can simply create flashcards that we have discussed earlier also, which has digraphs in them. You can give out dictations where the child have to identify, listen and identify and then write the words that have digraphs in them. Obviously, they might not do it perfectly in the first, second, third go, but you have to let them keep practicing it and provide them guidance as and when necessary. So with this, we come to the end of this video. I really hope that this video has provided a complete information about the concepts of digraph and you will be able to teach your children in a much better way now. For more videos on education, phonics and raising confident readers, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like the content, and let's meet in the next video. Till then, have a good day. Bye-bye.